Welcome to the Best by the Worst. The best movies of all time, reviewed by the worst possible critics. If you don't believe us, keep listening to find out. That was underwhelming.
It was. I even had to try and add some impact.
Welcome back to the Barrett
podcast. You fuck. Well, I'm pouring myself first.
All right.
What are we drinking today, fine sir?
Today, we are trying diet ginger beer. It does not look like the right colour.
No.
Actually, I don't think I've ever seen ginger beer out of the bottle, because normally, like, we're drinking the Bundaberg's
I didn't really spin it up, so you probably got all the sediment in this glass. Look at the colour
Look at the colour difference. All right.
Whoopsie daisy.
Yeah. He put that.
There we go. That's more like it.
You just tipped a bit. Well, you know.
All right, that's what we got.
You biffed this
very badly.
Just for the people at home, my glass is about 1.5 inches less full than Alex's.
Yeah, but at least I restored a little bit of colour back to this.
But I've got all the flavour.
You do.
You've got a glass of water. I've got flavour. Cheers, boy. We got this as a gift.
Perfectly balanced.
Cannot taste the difference between that and... Oh, no, there it is, the aftertaste.
They definitely can.
It came through at the end.
Yeah, the chemically aftertaste?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what sugar used to be.
Yeah. It's been a while since we've recorded a podcast.
Well, we had other pressing matters to attend to.
Yeah.
And technically, we were podcasting, just not on our podcast.
Yeah. Not that anyone would be able to find. But...
We had a friend's bucks party.
Yeah.
And we made a little podcast for it to make a little amazing race thing.
Yeah. Turned out really good.
Yeah, and that sucked up the last 6 months of our life.
Yeah. And everyone that went to the bucks party kept going on about how good we were at podcasting. And I kept saying, yeah, you should listen to our actual podcast.
And then they said, nah.
Yeah. I also like how when we recorded that, we made multiple jokes referencing this podcast that no one would get because no one listens to us.
Exactly. Some people not did, actually. But anyway, there's a bit of a speed around Barrett because we've got things to attend to. I know you do too. And more importantly, this movie doesn't deserve more of our time. Right. Of all my notes, I didn't write down what the movie was called.
All right. I'll start off. I'll give you the brief. So we watched An American in Paris.
That's right.
How have you forgotten? We watched it last night.
I was focused on the plot.
1951 was the year. The movie had a budget of $2.7 million or $33 million in today's money.
All spent the final scene.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
All not dead.
Huh?
All not dead. Someone's alive.
Oh, yes.
The character that played Lisa, named Leslie, she's 93 years old.
Yeah. She was real young in this movie. We'll get to that too.
I've got her on the line.
On the what?
On the line. Ready to patch in?
Yeah, patch her in.
Hello. That was my terrible attempt at a
She was
Leslie
supposed
voice.
to be French, okay? You could have added a little bit of a... You say hello in French.
Bonjour.
Oh, yeah. Bonjour.
Everyone else is dead.
Fair enough.
The movie is about an artist, paints some paintings, ends up in a love triangle, all ends well.
It's pretty much the movie.
Yeah.
Probably should add, obviously, as the title suggests, he's an American artist. Like, came from America, didn't really explain why, but loved Paris, lives in Paris, and he's an artist, but like has no money, bit of a deadbeat. But that's him.
Yeah. Right, I'm a little bit confused because I've written my book backwards.
Well, that's okay. It's been a while since we've been here sitting in these chairs, but I remember one thing I used to do at the start, and that was the facts.
Yes. Tell me some facts.
Bit of a slow year, but yeah, I'll capture some of the highlights. There's also some sort of like Korean War thing happening, but yeah, you know, I'm over the wars. Anyway, so the first vaginoplasty procedure or sex reassignment surgery performed by Harold Gillies.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not really sure like on who and why and all the rest of it, but yeah. Anyway,
Cool.
yeah. First color TV broadcast, and it was a musical variety special on CBS, and it was sent to 5 East Coast cities.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Just kind of like this movie, really. It's a big musical. We should have added that. This movie was a musical.
Yeah.
Alice in Wonderland comes out, cartoon.
Wait, you said that last time.
What?
Oh, no. Sorry. That was Cinderella.
This is like the glory years for Disney.
Yeah. Do you know why I know that? Because I edited the last episode on the weekend. And then he just put it up.
Of course, all
it was
episodes
recorded
need
in
editing.
February.
Yes. The Soviets declare they have the atomic bomb. Sorry for the delays. I can't read my handwriting.
That's okay.
Oral contraceptive is made.
Okay.
I don't think it was widely used or commercially available, but it was made. Yeah. What's that word for chemicals when you make something synthesized? Maybe that's the right word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's perfect. That's a big word.
That's pretty good, right?
Yeah. Right.
ANZ Bank mergers.
Ooh. One
Yeah.
of the big four.
Yeah,
Right.
so these two banks merged and made ANZ.
Cool.
Couldn't remember the name of the other two banks. Didn't really matter. Ran out of lines. And the Australian Communist Party gets banned.
Rightio.
Yeah.
Do you feel like we're living in that world today?
Yes, things feel like they're going full circle again.
Yeah.
But,
Let's not start on that. I don't even know why I brought that up.
you're playing with fire.
I am. I'm playing with fire and you.
All right, I just
should
did
we
a whole bunch of gardening. I must say that's refreshing instead of beer.
Yeah.
Also, I hate gardening. Anyway,
It is beer. It says on the bottle, ginger beer.
yeah, why do they call ginger beer beer when it's clearly not a beer?
That's some homework for the next episode.
I'll take a note.
Oh my
I've got to click it once. It's not even emerged from the
can't
casing.
believe that you've got a clicky pen.
Okay. Ginger beer. Homework. All right, Barrett. Take it away about this movie.
Why would you write it on that page? Write it on the next blank page. So when you start watching the next movie, you will have the note there.
Well, now I
ready to go.
can't do that because you told me to do it, and I don't want you to win.
Right, are you ready? I'm taking it away.
Do it.
Color.
Yes.
My goodness.
Yeah, you know what? It's insane how much more watchable bad movies are when it's in color.
Yes.
It's like every movie from here on out gets an extra star just for being in color.
We've got like 5 black and white movies coming up. Don't mean to. I think there's only like 5 left.
Where I missed out.
One of them is Schindler's List in black and white.
From the 90s, but yeah.
Yeah, and then The Apartment, and there's like a few others that are in black and white. Still coming. Anyways, colour.
Anyway, yep.
Opening shots of Paris. We see this street that Jerry lives on. He's narrating at this point. Mm-hmm. So he's the main character.
Yep.
Jerry's in bed, and the opening scene is his apartment. You want to try and explain his apartment?
Yeah, did you ever watch Chitty Chitty Bang Bang?
Yes.
Not on the list, unfortunately. You would have thought the movie would have won. But anyway, do you remember that breakfast scene where everything's like all automated and happening like in sequence, and it's like a really cool scene?
Oh, no.
Anyway, damn it, Barrett. I was certain you would have remembered that. Anyway,
I just remember the car.
it was kind of like that. He's living in this real tiny shitbox apartment. Like I said, he's got no money. He's an artist, so clearly doesn't make any money, just like modern day artists. Go figure. And yet all of them have degrees. I'll just say that much. Anyway, so he starts off in this little bed. He basically opens the door because someone's knocking to give him breakfast or something. And it's you can only open it that much because it's jamming against the bed.
Like a foot.
Closes the door, and then he basically pulls up the bed. The bed's just suspended and just can lift to the ceiling to get out the way to give him space. And then he's just running around the room. I give it to him it must have taken a few takes because he's doing 30 things in this tiny apartment to set himself up to have breakfast in a space that's no bigger than this table, basically.
Yeah, he does half of it with his feet.
Yeah, and it's all one shot, and he's just remembering everything he's got to do and pick up in place. That was pretty cool. I like that scene.
Yeah.
That's why it reminded me of the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang scene when they're making breakfast and all the robots are all anyway. But that was the opening scene.
Stop banging the table.
It's been a while.
we see him in his apartment. We then cut to another person narrating, and it's now Adam. And we are learning a little bit about him. We cut to his apartment, and he's playing the piano. The next scene we see is they're eating brioche buns. So it's Adam and Jerry, I think.
Jerry.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Jerry's the main character. So the painter, his name is Jerry. He's the main character.
Correct, yes.
The main actress, her name is Lisa. Those two will just get out the way.
Yeah.
He's got a friend named Adam,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
That's his friend that he hangs out in the coffee shop with. That's kind of like underneath his apartment.
Yes.
And there's really the only other character that matters is a fellow called Henri. Not Henry, Henri. Because that's how the French say it.
What did I write his name down as? Ari.
Oh, fuck.
So when you hear me referring to Ari,
Yep.
it's because I can't say
Henri.
exactly.
Anyway, so those are the only characters to really remember. So when he goes downstairs, he's hanging out with his friend Adam. And they're good mates. They also meet Henri pretty quickly.
Yes.
Who's just a friend of Adam's. So kind of like they meet through that. He actually borrows some money off Henri so he can go get lunch because, again, he's a poor painter.
Yep.
But there was also, I can't remember the exact context, but I think Adam was talking about this girl, and it's Lisa. And it sort of cuts to like them, thinking and talking about Lisa, and she's doing like some dance skits.
Yeah.
Remember that part right at the start?
Yeah.
That's kind of introduced her. She's not there. It's kind of like a daydream.
Yes, yeah. He's describing her, but
Yeah.
it's in visual.
I can't remember why, like how she came to be. Maybe she was talking, I don't know. Anyway, so what I did point out in that scene, though, is there was this one scene where, she's doing dancing and then the screen like cuts into segments and she's doing like different dances and different costumes. And I thought, that's got to be like the first special effect we've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was crude, but it worked. And I don't remember seeing any other kind of special effect. And it did it a couple times in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I do have some facts to drop in here.
Drop them.
So the movie came from a poem. All right.
Yeah.
A poem. I don't think we've had that before. It was a
Yeah, I guess not.
jazz tone poem.
Well, it was jazz in there, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's where the movie came from. Now, we've introduced these two main characters, I guess, now. Leslie. No, not Leslie. Leslie is that's the actor's name. What was her name? Lisa.
Actress. Yes.
Actress and...
Yes. Leslie is her real name. Lisa was a character.
Yes.
The main male painter character, his name was Jerry. And his real name is Gene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about how old they are in the filming of the movie?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you want to know?
So obviously these are the two sort of emerge as love interests. So he's the painter, he's a bit older, and the girl that they introduced like early on very clearly is young. And then we thought she kind of looks suspiciously young.
Yeah. So he's 39
In the movie.
in the movie,
Yep.
yeah, like in real life.
Yep.
And she was 17.
Yep, that checks out. She looked pretty young.
Yeah.
But, it was in France. And, French people are weird.
Thank you for not saying something I have to cut out.
You're welcome.
Saving my editing time.
But also at the end, they said like the whole thing was filmed in Hollywood. So maybe they weren't really in France.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
There's also a scene, I think we've got this slightly out of order, but it doesn't really matter. But Jerry's broke, right? And as you just said, he borrowed the 300 francs.
Yep.
Right. But he said the city is sad because he's broke. And when he's sad, all he wants is wine and women. And he can't afford wine and women because he doesn't have any money.
Ain't that the truth?
And then, much to our disgust, singing breaks out.
Yeah.
And then we realise this is a musical.
Yeah, so we'll bypass that because it wasn't important to the story at all. There's a lot of singing in this movie. The only other thing I had after that was... Oh, wait, no, we'll get to that. So basically, he goes out to try and sell some paintings after that, right? So he sets up... It takes him a while to find a spot that isn't occupied by some other painter.
Correct.
There's a weird scene where it looked like William Churchill was painting. I don't know what that was about, but anyway... He finds a spot and it's basically just on like a sidewalk and he's put up his paintings on this, brick wall.
Yes.
And then this young girl comes over and tries to like talk to him about the paintings. She's being all pretentious and, sounds like she knows a lot about paintings, or at least she thinks she does. And he just He just dismisses her like no tomorrow. I can't remember the stuff that he
He
said.
said, say something nice, I won't care. Say nothing at all, I'll be upset.
There you go. He was having none of it. Thinking, man, why is he being such a dick to this girl? Anyway, she buggers off because it's incredibly rude. And then this older lady comes by, and she looks like a bit, fancy. She looks like a rich character. Turns out she is. Anyway, she comes over and she's like, "Oh, I hope you're not going to be as rude to me." Trying to like introduce herself to look at the paintings. And he just basically explains that there's a bunch of these pretentious like students from unis that are visiting, like they're on their third year, going to Paris, and they think they know everything, but they're really just reciting things that they've heard smarter people say.
Yep.
I thought accurate and savage, brilliant. So anyway, though, it's much nicer than this lady. She likes two of the paintings and offers to buy the paintings. He's like really shocked. She goes like, "Oh, how much do you want for them?" I don't think he's ever sold a painting in his life, so he's got no idea what to quote them. And she goes, "I'll give you, 15,000 for both." Or is it each? One of them.
15,000 each.
Yeah. And he's just like trying to play it cool, but he's like, 100%. They're yours. So anyway, a car pulls around. That's when we really piece together that she's rich. They load him to the car because she asks him to come back with her to, bring the paintings over.
Yeah.
He thought it was a bit odd, but he's like, yeah, whatever. They get into this green car. I love this moment. And then the next scene with the car pulling up to her apartment building, essentially. And Barrett goes, "Oh, the car changed colour." "The car didn't change colour, Barrett." And then he started talking about how, it must be Technicolor, and that's why the colours changed. I'm like, "Barrett, your eyes are Technicolor."
Thank you. Thank you for that comment. And in the very next scene, what did the car do?
It was the same car and it was green.
It changed back to dark green again.
Sure it did.
It went dark green, light green, dark green.
Yeah. So anyway, this is one of my favourite parts, so I've got to say it. So he goes into the apartment room, and what does she do? She asks him to like go to a party or something like that. But anyway, she says something, and he gets a whiff that he is being used as an escort, essentially.
Yeah.
That's what she actually wants.
Yeah.
And he gets all disgusted and triggered and like goes to storm out. And she explains, no. Like you can pretty quickly see that she's interested in him, but not to like pay him as an escort. Just like she's interested in him, right? She makes it out that she's interested in him as a painter because she thinks he's really talented.
Yes.
That might be true, but I don't think that was convincing either of us early on. And just agrees to go to some dinner with her that's going to like promote him as an artist, basically.
Yeah. There was one other interesting thing that I saw in that or heard in that scene, and he was talking about struggling to sell his pictures. Mm-hmm. And he was like, a painter can struggle to sell their picture because once it's sold, the art's gone. Whereas like a writer could always buy a copy of their own book.
I guess you could get a copy of your painting too, really.
Yeah, but I guess like the original is what's worth money, where in writing, copies are worth money,
Yeah, it was a valid point.
Yeah. I thought it was it was just a bit of a different look on things. All right.
So he goes to the dinner.
Yeah, painting lady invites him to party. And I have a fact to draw in here, or fact to write in here. What did I have? Well, it's completely random because I did this in a hurry. But side note, Vincent was the producer of this movie.
Luke Vincent?
No, not Luke Vincent. You're going to have to bleep his name out.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
He also produced Gigi.
Oh, which is probably why they use that same actress.
Yeah, which you picked, which was baffling.
Yeah, so we looked at like maybe 3 or 4 movies ahead, and there's a movie called Gigi that is one of the movies we have to watch. And the front cover was just like this, like almost painted picture of a girl's face, and I'm like, that's the same girl. We go into it, and it was the same girl.
Yeah, very impressed. But anyways, during production, he was tied up with a divorce or divorcing his wife, and Gene had to often step in and continue directing.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so the main actor did a fair bit of directing as uncredited.
Probably a good time to mention it now. As much as like, the movie, I'll just say right now, wasn't the best thing ever. But anyway, I must admit, we talked about it briefly. Back then, most of the time in these movies, because they had like these singing elements or dancing elements or other stuff, right? At least some of them did. And if you're an actor, you had to be in multiple things. But it meant you had to like just be good at everything. Like this Gene guy, apparently he's a famous actor. I didn't really know about him. He could sing, he could dance, he could tap dance.
Yeah.
Apparently he can direct.
Yeah.
He could act. He's actually a really good actor.
Yes.
He could do everything.
He did everything.
But nowadays, you don't have to do any of that.
I'm pretty sure. Did he write some of the songs? I didn't search that.
Don't know, but he's a weapon.
Singing in the Rain. That's him.
He's the Singing in the Rain guy.
Yeah.
Also, the movie's actually called Singing in the Rain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
Perfect. Yeah. Anyways, side note over. Sorry to putting that in a weird spot. In a hurry. Right. So Jerry heads back home. The kids want bubblegum because apparently he gives the local kids American bubblegum. He's teaching them English. All right. And then he starts singing this song about I Got. Don't know. I didn't really know the song, but Brooke seemed to know. She knew the song from somewhere.
Did she?
Yeah. Anyways, breaks out in tap dancing, as you said.
Yep.
All of that stuff. Song probably not so relevant to the movie.
Yeah, it's not.
Anyways, he goes back to the lady's house.
Whoa. The
No?
dinner. We got to capture something really important in the dinner. Quite crucial, actually.
No. You're jumping ahead.
I'm not jumping ahead.
Yeah.
It's the dinner.
No. Okay. She invites him to a party.
Yeah.
Okay. The party is at her house.
But there is no party.
I know. I'm about to say that.
Huh.
So he goes to her apartment to go to the party.
Yeah.
She answers, or like he's in the, I don't know whether someone lets him in or she answers the door. He goes, "That's quite a dress you almost have on."
I missed that.
Is what he says to her.
That's pretty good.
And then he goes, "What holds it up?" And she turns to him and says, "Modesty."
Nice.
All right. That's when we find out the party is just him and her.
Oh, but then they decide to go out for dinner.
Yeah. I wanted to get my lines in.
Fair enough. Anyway, jumping ahead. We're going to be here all night, Barrett.
All right.
So they go to the dinner. Anyway, they meet up with some of the random, painty friends. And we pick up pretty quickly that when the painting lady was dancing with one of her friends, not with Jerry, that she's done this kind of thing before with not a painter, but what's the guys that make clay things?
The sculptor?
Sculptor. There was a sculptor and something else. So it seems like she's done this before. And then I thought, okay, that's interesting. And then that young girl, so Lisa,
yes,
she shows up with a group of other random dudes. Don't know who. And Jerry sees her from across the table in a different group. And it's just infatuated with her completely.
Just staring.
Yeah, really obviously to a point where, the painter girl picks up on it real quickly. And that's when I knew for sure that she was definitely just into Jerry because she was really, really annoyed that she was just staring, or he was just staring at her.
Yes.
And he did then dance with her briefly. She wasn't really interested. She's being really pushing back, don't know you, don't want to know you, bugger off. And Jerry's not having any of it. So they dance for a little bit and does this little trick to get a number.
Yeah.
Anyway, gets the number.
No, the trick was genius.
Okay.
He went back to her table where I presume a family member, maybe her dad or something, was sitting.
Yes.
And he goes, "What was your phone number again? I didn't quite catch it." And she tried to give him a fake number.
Yeah.
And then the dad's like, "That's not our phone number. Our phone number is this."
Yeah, brilliant. So he's got the number. Anyway, Painted Girl's pissed off because she's been ignored and obviously likes Jerry. She says, "Oh, I'm leaving." He runs off after her. They get into the car. They get into this big argument because she was just saying it was really rude.
Yeah.
Not admitting that, she was obviously into him. Jerry's like, "Well, okay, you're upset. Bye now." Just told set the car to stop and just hopped out of the car.
Yeah.
They're smooth.
Yeah.
Anyway, cuts to the next day. She's not upset anymore because she shows up and tries to talk to him again to get a exhibition, basically, which has been the plan to showcase his talent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
she does address the fact she's not upset anymore, and she's basically apologized that she got worked up over nothing. He's like, "Oh, okay, all good," and then they just continue on with their plan.
Yeah, she says sorry about her little tiff.
Yeah.
In that same scene, just before she apologizes, Jerry also tries calling Lisa.
Oh yeah,
work.
did you get the quote?
No.
Oh, I got
What's
the quote. So he's got the number. He calls her. Was she at work or home?
At work.
Yeah, at work. And she picks up, and she's again super dismissive, "What do you want?" And she goes, "Last night you were a small annoyance, but today you're turning into a large nuisance."
So, anyways, not to be outdone,
Yep.
he goes directly to her work.
Yeah, it's like a little perfume place.
Yeah, he helps her out with the sale, and then asks her out again.
Yeah. She again is like super resistant, but he wears it down.
Yeah, wears it down. Anyways,
What was required back in the day? We watch all these movies. Basically, they just say no a bunch of times, and then they just say yes. They can't do that anymore.
right. Jerry and Lisa go on a date. They walk along the river. They dance. They sing. They kiss.
Yeah, she's okay with it now.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've got a fact apparently here to drop in.
But I did like something there. So as they were like on this day, there was a moment where he just randomly offers her candy. And I just thought it was so funny because, she's 17 years old. He's like, oh, you want some candy? He's got candy in his pocket.
It's probably like a reference back to the bubblegum being completely innocent. But
Yeah, maybe. That was my second favourite bit.
It came across as creepy. So, quick. Now we're talking about them going on a date. We're talking about Lisa a little bit. The actress, Leslie, she suffered from malnutrition during World War II. And she would tire easily because of this. And when they were filming, she only worked every other day.
Must be nice.
So they had to work around that.
Must be nice. Jeez.
Anyways.
Also, random, not factoid in here, but something I noticed. Whatever happened to guys wearing singlets? You notice this? And I had this little conversation with Brooke briefly, but I don't mean like you could, obviously guys just wear singlets all the time as their own little thing. But back then, we watch all these movies and all the guys had singlets underneath the shirt.
Yeah.
But why? And where did it go?
It probably still happens. It's just their shirts aren't undone for you to see the singlet.
Nah, you can always see it through. And the odd occasion you do run across one. But back then it was like mandatory. Do you ever do it?
No, I don't own a singlet.
Neither do I. So what happened to it?
I don't know. I used to own singlets when I was a kid.
Originally, I thought maybe it's like a sweat thing. And that would apply. But it's also kind of counterproductive because it captures like the sweat in the chest and the back, but it doesn't cover the armpits because it's the singlet.
Maybe we don't see it because we're in Australia and it's hot.
Yeah, but then what purpose does it serve? Are you saying it's like because it's if it's really cold, you put a singlet underneath?
Yeah.
Ooh, maybe that's what it is.
Like this is filmed in Paris, which would be cold. Europe gets cold. America gets cold.
It does resolve the nipple issue.
I don't want to ask what the nipple issue is.
Yeah, like if you're a guy and you're still wearing a shirt and it's really cold, you have hard nips.
I don't have hard nips right now. It's not cold.
That's what I mean. But if you had a singlet, you'd have an extra layer.
Yeah.
All right, mystery solved. Keep going.
Anyways, whilst they're on their date, Lisa was supposed to go to a show to see Ari perform,
Yeah,
but doesn't because she's busy on the date with Jerry. I think she had 2 dates in one night, and she kind of like
she did. So let's cut to it. So what we find out is that she rocks up very late to that show, but who's there? Henri, who actually is her partner, her boyfriend or whatever.
Yes.
So she's playing the field.
yes,
And she kind of told Jerry at the start, but I don't know, maybe didn't take it seriously. Anyway, she's seeing him. She's been seeing him for God knows how long. So Jerry's the new guy. And so she doesn't tell Henri at all, and she keeps them both along in this love triangle for a while. So that's the emergence of the love triangle.
yes.
Henri doesn't really suspect anything at all till like the end of the movie. But anyway, so that's them. So Jerry knows Henri through that other friend.
Yes.
Right? Doesn't know that he's with her. So both blokes are like completely innocent in this. They didn't know what was happening. She was the only one that knew that she was seeing both of them.
Yeah. The painting lady gets Jerry a new studio. He says he can't afford it. She says she's planned a show for him and he will be able to afford it when he sells some of his art.
Yeah.
But I just don't think art's something you can just pump out.
yeah.
I think it, something that has to require some inspiration and some effort. So, anyways, the next scene, we're sitting at a table in the cafe. We've got all 3 guys there.
Oh, yeah.
And Adam has worked out that Jerry and Ari are both interested in the same girl. Ari's dating her. Jerry's infatuated with her.
But I can't remember the exact moment like when he said this. It was when it was kind of realizing this, or at least like girls kind of, dating multiple men. And he lays the best quote from the movie I liked was, "You see, women act like men, but want to be treated like women."
Yeah. So you can see Adam is quite uncomfortable in the middle because Ari's giving Jerry advice about how to go after this girl and how to win her over. Meanwhile, it's actually his girlfriend.
Yeah, he's having a meltdown.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Yeah.
Jerry goes to see Lisa. He tells her that he loves her. She replies that she's getting married.
Yeah. And because he's going to the US.
Yeah.
He's got like some job. He's also like a singer and dancer or whatever.
Yeah, so she's getting married to Ari. Jerry is upset and leaves.
Yeah.
As he's leaving, Lisa says that she loves him as well.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. But doesn't want to leave old mate. She feels indebted to him. There was a reason why. But clearly doesn't love him, but loves Jerry. But isn't going to break it off.
Yeah.
And so what does our mate Jerry do?
He's a little bit distraught, so he goes and picks up the painter lady again, who's been interested in him the whole time.
And he knows this, right? Which is why she's the sugar mama, right?
Yeah.
And he just like walks in and just like makes out with her, and she's like clearly really happy. Says, "Oh, let's go out. Let's go to this party thing," and they go out.
Yeah. So they go to a party. It's like some school party because like they're all. I don't know. I don't 100% understand. But everyone is there. Everyone is there.
Yeah.
Right. Please describe the scene at the bar with Adam and the painter lady.
Oh, what a fuck boy. Yeah, so he's the friend that knows that, Henri and Jerry are seeing the same girl. Yeah. And he goes like behind this little bar thing, gives her like a drink, some champagne.
To the painter lady.
To the painter lady. And the painter lady's talking about Jerry. Obviously, what's his name again? Adam?
Yeah.
Adam knows who Jerry is. And, but basically lets her know that he's just using it for the money and for the art stuff. And drops the bomb that he's in love with that other girl in like a really smooth kind of way.
Yeah.
And
so he's acting, it's coming across like he doesn't know who he's talking to. He's just telling a stranger this.
And then she goes, "You know that I know Jerry, basically. You're talking about Jerry," or something like that.
No, I'm the girl you're talking about.
Yeah. And he goes, "I know," and then just walks off. Yeah, just the absolute assassin.
Yeah. Anyways, they're all at the party. All right. So everyone is there.
Yeah.
All right. There's a little bit of dancing going on, and Jerry and Lisa meet up on the balcony.
Yeah.
All right. She's there to say goodbye because she's going to America that night.
Yeah, with Henri.
Yeah.
Just say Henri once.
Henri.
See, you can say it.
Ari.
Now say it like this. Henri.
Henri.
That's right.
All right.
So they basically have this conversation on the balcony and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, like she walks off, he stays on the balcony, but little do they realize that Henri is actually on like a different part of the balcony further down and sees it. And now he's worked out that she's been seeing him and him.
Yes.
And he looks obviously very sad, but he's just worked it all out.
Yeah. Anyways, it doesn't really seem to impact too much because they get in the car to leave and Lisa waves goodbye. So Lisa and Henri Ari are in a car together.
Yeah.
They're leaving. Lisa's waving out the window. Jerry's on the balcony. Right, off they go. Now, at this moment, right, I look at my watch and I go, there is 25 minutes of movie left. Right? And I'm like,
you need 25 minutes of fever dream left. Yeah.
Well, I haven't got to that yet, but there's 25 minutes of movie left. And I'm like, oh, how are they going to wrap this up? Right? So I'm sitting there and he's like leaning on the balcony and a dream starts, or like a daydream.
Yeah.
Right? And it's lots of singing.
But it's worth mentioning because this is like a real cool part of the movie. I'll give them that. The way that the daydream sequence starts is like in position and it basically like the background changes to look like one of his paintings and then it's like him morphing into this painting dream where he's like stuck in his paintings.
Yes.
That's the whole like daydream. He's in like his paintings. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. And the daydream goes on and on and on. And I've written here lots of dancing, like 5 minutes lots. And then I've crossed out 5 minutes as it passed the 5 minute mark and then wrote like 10 minutes lots and then crossed out that and wrote like 15-minute lots. Right? In actual fact, the scene was 17 minutes long. Okay. The sequence cost $450,000 to make.
I'm surprised there wasn't more.
Yeah. Some of the backdrops were 300 feet wide by 40 foot tall for this. Like, it's absolutely ludicrous. And no words are spoken in the last 20 minutes of the film.
There sure isn't.
No, there's just singing,
Yeah.
dancing, tap dancing,
Yeah.
ballerinas walking on their toes.
And don't get me wrong, like, not my thing, obviously, really, but like I said, it was cool to see because it was all like him in his paintings. All the costumes were really cool. All the backdrops were really cool because it looked like paintings. You know, it was a spectacle. It was impressive,
Yeah.
right? Especially for that time. Hats off to him. It was cool, all right? But also, it would have been cool for 5 minutes. After that, it started to drag out. But anyway, it was cool enough to see. But that was the rest of the movie.
Yeah. And then there's like a 30-second scene at the end where Henry
Henry.
and Lisa come back,
Yeah.
and Henry is smiling up at
Yeah.
Jerry on the balcony, and Lisa's running back up to him.
Yeah, he lets her go.
Yeah. End of film.
Yep, they kind of kiss, hug on these steps, and that's it.
It's probably a 25-minute story if you take out the singing and dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem with
was-
musicals. It's like there's zero plot because it's all just singing and dancing.
Yeah, it was
That's-
2 hours.
Yeah, and that's every musical I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, think about Grease. What was that? It was just bad boy, good girl, like each other, fight, get back together, done. That's Grease.
I love how you said, like, modern actors can't sing and dance, and then we started, like, rattling some off, and it was like, well...
John
Travolta, Will Ferrell, Jack Black.
Okay, there's still plenty of actors that can do both, in fairness, but a shit ton that can't. Yeah.
All right, we need to wrap this thing up because we've held people hostage for too long already.
All right, Barrett. How many Barretts out of Barrett?
2.5.
Wow. I wrote this last night, and what does it say there to verify I'm not lying?
2.5.
2.5. It's 2.5 movie.
It's not great, not terrible.
Absolutely. It's just bang in the middle. It was okay.
Yeah. Better than what we have coming up. I don't remember what it is, but it's 3.5 hours or something. Yeah.
Barrett. No.
We'll get there.
God damn it. Well, I enjoy it. It's been too long.
Yeah. Well, we enjoyed Bundaberg Diet Ginger Beer today.
Yeah, what's this about?
It was a gift from the Bucks party.
Yeah, but what happened to beer?
Oh, I don't know. We're just having a break from drinking beers.
We've changed.
Maybe it was the 7 million beers we drank at the Bucks party.
Yeah, we did all right.
Yeah.
Job
All
well
right.
done.
I think that's about all we've got.
All right. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Well, it won't really be next week, but you know what I mean.
We'll be back soon.
We'll be back soon.